Hey, how's it going? Day 38 of Road to 100k in 100 days of new business. Today is Wednesday, 14th of May 2025. And I thought in this video, just real quick, nothing too serious, I'd show you and explain to you a little bit about the copy and creative. Because in the last video I made that I uploaded yesterday, it was a long video, and I explained kind of the service I provide to residential contractors in Australia and New Zealand, the people that I actually sell my product to, sell my service to, rather. It's an ongoing service. And I realized that I spent a lot of time talking about copy and creative, and that might just sound kind of vague. I explained that copy means the text that you see in an ad, and creative is the image or video you see in an ad. And that might sound quite easy, but it's actually got a hell of a skill to it. It's got a lot of art to it, and it does take a lot of practice. So I wanted to give you a few examples of copy. So I've actually written a few things down, and I'm going to show you right here. So in advertising copy, one of the key, foundations of advertising is you want to be testing. You want to be testing different variations of different ads. You want to be testing the images and videos, the creative. You want to test what creative work. And you also want to test the copy. Those are really the two main things you're testing. On a broader level, people that sell direct to consumer, which is different to business, right? Business to consumer is different to business. For an example, business to consumer, an example of that would be Apple selling a new iPhone, right? The person that owns the iPhone, the person that's going to buy the iPhone, doesn't necessarily have to be a business owner. They can just be a regular person. It's there for entertainment, it's there for reliability, and it's not exactly revolutionary, right? Another example would just be the speaker, right? This is a UE boom. People sell things like this online, and they're not selling it to business owners. Business to business is what it sounds like. It's selling to business owners. So the service that I sell, which is social media advertising, I'm not going to try sell that to a grandma in a nursing home. I'm not going to try sell that to an 18-year-old high school guy. I'm not going to try sell that to a 55-year-old woman that works as a personal assistant, right? I'm trying to sell it to business owners, and more specifically, the niche that I sell to is residential contractors. So, where I'm going with that is the type of copy you put in your ad is dependent on your audience. So, the type of copy that I put in my ad is this. I'm going to show you the format of it. So really, these are the three main things that you test out. Rather, these are three types of copy I've been testing out. Let me rephrase that. These are three types of copy I've been testing out. Number one is problem, solution / benefits, value proposition, social proof, and then a call to action. Now, I'm not going to give you my exact ad copy, because then I'm just giving myself away, and I don't really want people to do exactly what I'm doing right now. So I'll give you an example as if I wasn't selling a business-to-business offer, and if I was selling a business-to-consumer offer of, let's say I was a gym owner, and I'm trying to get customers for my gym, regular mums and dads, right? So the problem here, this is how I'd structure the ad. Problem. I'm addressing the problem first. I would say, do you feel overweight? That can be a question as well, but it's a problem. Feeling overweight? Okay, cool. Solution. This is pretty simple. Come down to the gym and let us work you out. We'll give you a diet and we'll take you through personalized training to help you lose weight. Awesome. That's the problem. That's the solution. The value proposition can be along the lines of, we have $1 million worth of equipment, and Doesn't matter if you're trying to lose weight or put on muscle, we can help, for example. Social proof will be, we've already helped 500 people just like you lose weight in only 8 weeks. And the call to action will be, click the link on this ad and schedule an appointment to see our gym. Something along the lines of that. Now that is super, super basic. That was actually quite shocking. I just came up with that on the top of my head. That's one example, okay? Now, by the way, if you want to do this for an agency, if you want to do this for a social media advertising agency online, this type of format of copy, it's very easy to fill in the blanks. All you have to do is know your target market. A problem, solution, and a benefit, a value proposition, social proof, and a call to action. Okay, cool. This is the second one. Pain, agitation, solution, results, social proof, call to action. Not that much different. Pain will be, again, are you feeling overweight? Solution, agitation would be, is that stopping? Let's say I'm talking to a young guy that wants a girlfriend. Are you feeling overweight? Is you being overweight stopping you from finding your dream girlfriend? Now we've got the solution. We will help you lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks, for an example. Results. We've already helped 50 people do this in the last 6 months. We know what we're doing. Social proof. Again, we've helped 50 people in the last 6 months. We know what we're doing. And then the call to action will be, book a time to see one of our personal trainers and you can get a 5% discount on your first week. Something like that. Very simple. And you'll notice these are all quite similar, right? It's not exactly rocket science here. And number 3 is a question/problem, solution, features and benefits, social proof, risk reversal, and call to action. Similar thing, similar to number 2, which would be, do you feel overweight? Is this causing you problems? Don't worry, we can help. Again, we have $1 million worth of equipment that you should be ready to come and use for a very cheap price. We've already helped 50 people like you in the last 6 months. And now the risk reversal, which, by the way, is something really, in my opinion, it's something really good to start off with if you're a beginner in the business-to-business space of things, especially in terms of an advertising agency. Because to be honest, there's so many advertising agencies out there that in a business owner's mind, they can all kind of mush into one, which is just a lot of jargon, a lot of hiding behind email updates, and no real substance. It's kind of just vague. So if you use a risk reversal, you can say something like this. I'm not going to give you a gym example. I'm going to give you a business-to-business agency example. You can say, if you don't see value, or if you don't hit this number of sales, or if you don't save this much time, or if you don't get whatever desired result in 30 days, or in 60 days, or in 90 days, or in 6 months, we'll give you a money-back guarantee. We'll work for free until we provide what we guarantee. We will give you a 50% refund. We will, some sort of risk reversal. That's what a risk reversal is. And then, of course, a call to action. CTA means call to action, by the way, if you haven't caught along. And that's it. And I think I went off topic a little bit earlier, but when we're testing variations of these ads, this is what we're testing for. So actually, let me get my pen and paper, and let me just give you an example. So let's say, okay, we got 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put them here. Oh, hello. I'm trying to do both. 1, 2, 3. Okay. By the way, on this level, we got the campaign. I'm going to talk about Facebook ads for a moment. Campaign. This is the ad set. The ad set level. And this is the ad level. This is exactly how I test for variations, by the way, so take notes right here. Not the greatest writing, I know. Campaign level. Again, this depends on what industry you're in. I'm going to talk about my industry again for a second. I don't target anything specific on the campaign level. You can go really specific and look for demographics and interests and things like that on Facebook Ads Manager, which is amazing. I don't do that. This is all I do. Since most of my target market is men, male business owners, I go men, male, and I go ages 25 to 50. That's it. So I keep it quite broad. I let the copy, the text, the words, I let that do the speaking to my customer for me. So remember that. On the ad set level, this is what we're testing. The first set of ads, I suppose, is going to have this copy. The second set of ads is going to have that copy. The third set of ads is going to have that copy. Does that make sense? Are you following along so far? Cool. Now let's give an example of, let me give a quick example of 3 different ads. One ad is going to be me speaking to the camera with my face in the shot. Okay, that. One ad is going to be a pretty bad drawing, but that is one of my customers giving me a testimonial. So he's got the builder hat on, right? He's safe, got that health and safety going on. No dodgy contracts around here. He's got all his. Oh gosh, this is a shocking drawing. He's got all his things in order. So that's a customer of mine, testimonial. Actually, I'm going to say this. Me. Testimonial. Forgive my handwriting. And then the third ad will be, what should the third ad be? My third ad would be, it'll be this. It'll be proof of results for my customers. So it's not my customer speaking, but it's me showing the results I got for their business. So this is how variations work. Okay, let me do a quick line here. Sorry about how shocking this little image is, by the way. So let's go back to this. So on this level, we got the campaign. Okay, cool. Oh my gosh. One second, guys. I want to make sure you can see this. So let me hold it like this. So we got the campaign. We got the ad set. Where, remember, again, we're testing the copy. And then below that, on each one of these, see, this is where variation comes into advertising. On each one of these, we're testing one of these. So we got the me, we got the testimonial, and the result. So the M stands for me, the testimonial stands for the T stands for testimonial, and the R result. MTR. So, what I'm getting at with this is just by having these 3 types of copy, by having these 3 types of creative, which will all be probably some sort of video, because videos perform really well, we're now testing. Look at this. So let's just look at our variations. Let's see the variations here. We got, oh, hello. We got 1M, 1T, 1R, 2M, 2T, 2R, 3M, 3T, 3R. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's how many ads we're running. We're 9 different ads. And advertising is a little bit like survival of the fittest because not all these ads are going to perform. Let's say this copy, number 1, which again, that's here. Let's say that does really well. Okay, cool, brilliant. Let's say 2 does terrible. Let's say it does absolutely terrible. Okay, it does terrible when it's a testimonial ad creative and a result creative, but it does all right when it's a me creative. Okay, well then with that being said, let's get rid of testimonial. Oh, hello. let's get rid of the result. But me is a winner. Okay, cool. And this one's doing really well. So all three of these are winners. Okay, cool. So we got winner, 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 winner. Oh no, but then this one dies out. And this one dies out. And then you're not getting results here. And you're not getting results here. Okay. So here works. Okay, so that means there's two winners. There's... Okay. And where I'm going with this is you have to be testing at all times. I can't tell you, A, for my clients, and B, for myself, how many ad variations I've tested over the years. It's so many. I've tested so many ads. And as time goes on, you know, a little text like this, with all these little nodes coming down, you know, test, variation. They eventually get so large and so many variations that you see the winners. That's it. Simple maths. If I'm running 2 ads, if I was doing this exactly, and 8 of the ads are doing terribly, but 1 ad is doing really well, I use my brain and I turn off the 8 ads that do terribly, and I focus on the 1 ad that does really well. I don't know if this is making sense. It's a little bit confusing, but this is my job. My job is to make sure this happens for my clients. This is my job, okay? This is how I get paid, and this is how my clients make money, and this is how I get the 5% revenue of my clients' jobs. It's very, very simple. It's simple, but I'm not going to lie, it's not easy, because the goal here isn't to be super creative and pretend like I'm a genius and, you know, test these crazy ads that no one's ever thought of. The goal is to test ads that are working for other people's businesses, right? See what's going well, see what's not going well, and from there, test them in my business or my clients' businesses, and optimize them. That's it. At the end of the day, results are the only thing that matter. So if we're running a really simple ad that's getting results, why would I stop running that ad? Why would I do that? The goal is to get results for myself and for my clients. So this video was a bit random, but I'm hoping that made a little tiny bit of sense. This is pretty much one of the pillars, if you will, of my service delivery, right there on that piece of paper, in the simplest of forms. Testing ads. That's how you test ads. That is how you test ads. And then as the years go, well, I say years, as the months of a campaign go by, I'll make that a little bit clearer. Those arrows going down. Those are arrows. Boom, boom, boom. Winner, loser, winner, loser. Okay, noted. So when I do the next ones, I take the good things from here and the good things from here, and I put them here. And guess what? Because not every ad's perfect and not everything works the same, that might not work perfectly there. It might be really bad, but guess what? That might work really well here. And then guess what? I have 2 winning ads. Maybe I have no winning ads on this side. Right? And you take what works from here and you eventually narrow things down. That's what I'm getting at. You narrow things down to the thing that gets the most results. I'm hoping that makes sense. Make sense? Okay, cool. Now, with that being said, this is pretty much all I did today. I did some new ads for myself because some of my ads aren't performing. You might have noticed I didn't mention it yesterday and I haven't mentioned it today. I haven't booked a new meeting in 2 days now, which is not good. But for my clients, they get heaps of leads coming in, a ton of leads, because like I mentioned a little while ago, business to consumer, I'll stick with that, is a lot easier to generate leads for than business to business. Instead of me trying to target builders and residential contractors, I have to pay more to get leads for that because they're actually a more valuable customer. Business to consumer, if the ad just says, look, it's one of two things. The ads I run for myself pretty much say, I'll make you more money. Essentially, that's what I'm getting, okay? I'll make you more money for your residential contracting business. Cool. The ads that I run for my clients say, book a time for us to give you a free quote, or let us give you a free quote to increase the value of your home, or let us fix your leaky tap, or let us install a new heat pump for you and save some money long term, or let us install some solar on your roof, or let us give you a paint job around the house, or let us do something like that. And a lot more people have home. Everyone has a home. Everyone has a home, whether you rent or whether you own. Everyone lives in a home. Not everyone runs a business, so I have to pay a little bit more to get my leads. An average cost per lead for me is like anywhere from $35 all the way up until like $80, right? New Zealand dollars. And of course, the lead quality varies. But as you saw yesterday on my video, the average lead price for example, one of my painters in Wellington, or a painter I work for in Wellington, it's as cheap as like $15, $16, $18 New Zealand. So yeah, the difference in price is a difference in person, is what I'm getting at. I'm hoping this makes sense. Anyway, that's really it from me. So yeah, I spent a lot of today making new ads for myself and making new ads for my customers, and also just reaching out to all the leads on all the lead forms that my customers, prospects have filled out. So yeah, a lot of texting, a lot of phone calls, a lot of conversations. But the goal is to move my business forward and also provide massive results to my clients, both of which I attempt to do on a daily basis. So yeah, I actually have to film a bit more content for HG Media, my agency. So that's something I will do. I'll do that tomorrow. And yeah, again, hopefully that made sense. It was a little bit weird and confusing, but this is how I explain things to myself. So if you get it and understand, cool. And if you don't, my apologies. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I'm going to hit it tonight. Hit the hay, that is. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 39. Peace out.